to thank my sister, Chasity Smith, she's my baby sister, and the Bowling Green League of Bicyclists for the opportunity to share my story with you. I'm here today because I beat cancer. I am a survivor. September the 17th, 2021 is the day that I found out I had cancer. I was later diagnosed with HER2 positive breast cancer, but the way that I came about that diagnosis is what I want to tell you guys about. I found a lump in my right breast in the spring of 2021, and my husband told me immediately that I needed to have it checked. I didn't think anything about it because I've had fibroid cysts for over 10 years, so I ignored him for months. Because let's be for real, he's a man. What does he know about cysts?
Amen.
But anyway, so eventually I did have it checked, and the radiologist read the mammogram and the ultrasound and said it was benign. My husband, thinking he still knew the best, Mark, right there, told me it didn't matter what the radiologist said, I still needed to have it cut out. It didn't belong there. I have to tell you something painful. He was right. I don't admit that very often, but he was. Anyway, so on Wednesday, September the 15th, I saw a surgeon planning to have the knot removed, and he didn't like the looks of it or the feel of it, whatever, and he biopsied it. He told us it would be the following week before I got the results. That Friday morning at 8:30, I got an email that said I had test results available in my online medical chart. I knew it was my biopsy results, so I read it. The only thing that I could tell you about that entire report is the word carcinoma. And when I read that, my heart stopped. So I'm the person that found out I had cancer. I found out I had cancer by reading my online medical chart. I do not recommend that to anybody. That's the last time I read a report on my online medical chart. Mark still reads them. He doesn't understand it. He Googles it. He doesn't tell me what it says because he knows that I want to hear it from my doctor. On Friday, anyway, so the surgeon called me Monday night, 3 days after I found out that I had cancer, to tell me that I had cancer. And he told me the report telling us what type of cancer was not in yet, but I probably would want to go ahead and schedule my mastectomy. Maybe even a double, because a lot of women have done that just to be safe. And I was not comfortable with that. So Mark and I wanted a second opinion. We found an oncologist who specializes in breast cancer, and we went to see her. She taught us that there are lots of types of breast cancer, and they have different treatment plans. We switched to her. She told us that chemo is very effective in treating HER2 positive breast cancer, and that was my course of action to start with. I started with chemo. I will tell you that chemo and radiation are no joke. They are brutal. I was blessed because the chemo killed the cancer, and I did not require a mastectomy. I had a lumpectomy, and I had 6 lymph nodes removed, 2 of which did have cancer in them. But being comfortable with my oncologist and the facilities that we were in went a long way in calming my nerves for this whole thing. Some of you guys here, well, I'm sure some of you here know exactly firsthand what it means, what it feels like for a doctor to say the words, "You have cancer." You understand what I mean when I say that you can't focus on anything at first other than those words. It's scary, it's terrifying, and it can spiral into a depression because you feel hopeless. Well, that's where a good support system and my deep faith came in. I don't know how I would have survived this whole ordeal without my family and my faith. Throughout all my months of treatment, my support was unbelievable. My husband Mark, our boys, Connor and Wyatt, my parents, my sisters, my brother, Sarah, Claire, Amy, I was literally never alone. They took care of me with love and grace and humor and positivity. You guys don't know my family, but a poor, pitiful me attitude is not allowed. And being diagnosed with cancer does not change that. So as a family, we put our faith and our trust in God. We keep our head up, we do what the doctors tell us, and we keep moving forward with a positive attitude. It works for us. After I was first diagnosed, I talked to my sister Mary about wanting to have a place to keep everybody informed about this journey. We are deeply involved in our church, and I have church family all around the world, and I wanted every single one of those people praying for me all the time. So she created a Team Kathy Facebook page where she and Chasity would post updates and photos and prayer requests, and it was awesome. I'd get on there and I'd read the comments and I'd look at the likes, and it was just humbling for me to see how many people were following my journey. Mark and I live in Grayson County, and our local community there showed up in unbelievable ways. There were cards and letters and gift cards and fundraisers. I never realized that so many people actually loved me. To this day, I still see people wearing Team Kathy t-shirts. One day, not long ago in our Walmart, I saw a lady. She came up to me. She was wearing one of our Team Kathy shirts, and she hugged me. I had no idea who she was, but she knew me, and she'd been praying for me, and that was just an amazing feeling. Anyway, so I'll fast forward to March the 9th, 2022, to the day that I became cancer-free. I believed with my whole heart from the very beginning that God would heal me. But I will tell you that morning on the phone with my oncologist, when she told me that I was officially cancer-free, it was like a weight was lifted. And I could finally breathe again. And I'm not ashamed to admit that there were lots of tears that day. They were all tears of joy, but there were lots of tears. Some of you guys may wonder why I'm telling you what I'm telling you today and why I'm sharing these specific details. If I can share any of the things that I went through this journey to you guys, and it might help you or someone you love navigate your journey more easily, then I consider this time well spent. I hope with my whole heart nobody in this room ever needs to know this information, but maybe you can just share it with somebody else that you love. There's 3 things that I think are important for you to remember from this. Number 1, self-exams are important. I'm living proof of it. I found mine not by self-exam. Friends, we all need to do our self-exams every month. When I first started to write this, I wrote, sisters, we need to do our self-exams every month. Then my sister Mary reminded me, men can have breast cancer also. We all need to do our self-exams faithfully. Number 2, make the appointment. If you see anything, you feel anything, it doesn't matter how small or insignificant, like the tiny knot she was talking about, make the appointment. Do not ignore it, and please do not ignore your husband, like I did. Number 3 is advocate for yourself. Ask all the questions. If you have a notebook, keep a notebook or a notes app handy. When you think of questions, write them down. That's what Mark and I would do. If he thought of something or if I thought of something, we wrote it down. When you get to the doctor's office, you'll remember a couple of them, but you won't remember them all. So write them down and ask them all. If you are in the least bit unsure, or just get a second opinion if you want to make sure you're on the right path. Switch doctors if you need to. Whatever you need to do, advocate for yourself. And finally, what I wanted to say was that everybody in this room, we all need to remember to love and support anybody, any family, friend that we know that is diagnosed with breast cancer or any type of cancer. If you've never been close to somebody diagnosed, you may feel uncomfortable contacting them when you hear that they have been diagnosed because you feel like you don't know what to say. I can tell you from my own experience, it does not have to be profound. Just let her know you're thinking about her. Be the person that stops by for a visit, a short visit if she's already doing chemo. Send them a note, send them a gift card for a meal, Let her know you're thinking about her, praying for her. Send them a text of encouragement. Just be there. One of the sayings that we see on t-shirts and promotional materials, especially during October, during Breast Cancer Awareness Month, is no one fights alone. So whether you're going through this journey or you know somebody else who is, we should all make it a point to live by that motto. No one fights alone. Let's just do everything we can to help each other out. Thank you for listening to my story. I appreciate it. Bye.